It's not like roller derby or anything, although, you know, sometimes it might look like it.
It was winter 1979, the historic Denver Coliseum. 3 semi-trailer trucks unloaded 14,000 screws and bolts to lock together 120 sections of 3/4-inch marine grade plywood, enough to build 3 houses. It all assembled in just 24 hours into an ultra-smooth oval bicycle racing track. This tiny portable velodrome was the only one in America, just 125 meters. It demanded a most unique breed of bicycle racer.
In a full-out sprint, 35 miles per hour, there's so much force into the banking, and trying to maintain it when you're really close to other riders, it's really something else.
For 2 days in November of 1979, the scaled-down indoor velodrome would be the battleground for a brutal encounter of 7 two-man teams.
Velodrome racing. More than half a dozen two-man teams racing at speeds up to 40 miles an hour on bikes that weigh less than 20 pounds on a track that's just the length of a football field. And nobody out there has any brakes. Some say it's the most exhausting and demanding type of bicycle racing there is.
The energy is sapped from you all the time, and you got to concentrate like 100% every minute.
The event was created because promoters of the biggest multi-day road race in America, the Red Zinger Bicycle Classic, was exploding into popularity in Colorado, and its organizers wanted to capitalize on its following by offering another cycling event, but in the winter. The only answer: take it indoors. The International Indoor Cycling Classic was born, but with it an unprecedented twist. Promoters wanted to showcase that year's Red Zinger winner and a few other popular roadies. Would putting road cyclists on the same disorienting small track as the season track races be a recipe for carnage? The wide open roads they'd mastered would now be just meters wide, pitching them from vertical to horizontal into treacherously steep 50-degree turns, producing 2 Gs every 4 seconds, elbow to elbow, on track bikes with no freewheel, only 1 gear, and no brakes. Despite warnings not to pit savvy trackies against the virgin roadies, the final roster ended up with both, and with it, a special glimpse into cycling's future. A young, freshly minted 1979 Junior World Road Champion, just back from scoring 3 medals in Argentina. As one of cycling's true GOATs, Greg LeMond's future would include 3 Tour de France wins. But on this track, and at just 18, one of those trackies he'd share the unforgiving mini velodrome with wondered, will his fancy gold medal on the road keep him from killing the rest of us?
I remember being in the infield watching Greg make his first attempt to get up on that track.
Still kind of scared.
They were telling him that you've got to have your speed up or you're just going to slide off. The first attempt didn't go well. He was too tentative, not enough speed. He fell off and slid down. And they kept yelling at him, "Faster, Greg, faster." And I'll never forget watching him circle around in the infield, getting his nerve up, and then just kind of leaned into the bike, got that Greg LeMond, "I'll do this" face, hit the straightaway and barreled into that first transition and then the second one. Well, right there, we just watched him get it.
I'm pretty comfortable now.
The 1979 International Indoor Cycling Classic itself would make history as the first event to get a non-league broadcast rights fee, and with it become the very first cycling event to be broadcast on the brand new all sports cable network ESPN.
Next, though, we have go to Denver, Colorado for some exciting international indoor cycling championships. So now let's take a look at the action out on the Rocky Mountain State, Denver, Colorado.
This is Dave Chauner along with Mike Aisner welcoming you to the Denver Coliseum for the 2-day International Indoor Cycling Classic, a competition among top bicycle racers on America's only portable wooden track, the 125-meter Madison Velodrome. These riders will be hitting speeds of 35 miles an hour, pulling 2.5 times their own weight on the 45-degree banking. They race on bikes with only direct drive, just 1 gear and no handbrakes whatsoever. Defending their undisputed domination of the boards will be the team of 3-time national champions Roger Young from Detroit and Chicago's locomotive Danny Van Hout. They'll be racing against some of the toughest competition they've ever faced in the States, including Austria's famed Meingast brothers, U.S. national champion and winner of the Redzinger Bicycle Classic, Dale Stettner, and his 17-year-old brother Joel from Indianapolis, the team of former national champion Mike Moll from California, and 18-year-old Greg LeMond, a Nevada cyclist who just became America's first world champion. Plus Australia's Ian the General Jackson, Les Barcheski, holder of the current track record of 7.77 seconds, California's trick cyclist David Steed, Colorado's only entry John Lee, the crafty Bobby Allen from Los Angeles, and Michigan's Tom Schuler. The International Indoor Cycling Classic is presented by Madison Velo Productions and Wormwood Project Sports.
Now, highlights from that original 1979 ESPN broadcast of the historic International Indoor Cycling Classic.
Last night, one of the events that they held, Mike, was a 12-lap sprint featuring one rider from each team. There's heats of these events, and the top 3 riders in each heat qualify for a final. Looks like David Steed there from California off the front. And these riders are going to just rotate now, as you will see, for the next couple of laps until they get themselves into a keen position to make their move. That's right, a rider will only stay in the front for a lap or a lap and a half before swinging out of the way, because the lead rider is setting the pace. The following riders are what we call sitting in or tucked in behind the lead rider. They can actually maintain the same speed of the leader by exerting about 15% less energy. It's almost like drafting or slipstreaming an automobile race.
Okay, the riders to watch for. Rolling off the top there was Greg LeMond, the 18-year-old world champion. He is in that colorful Avocet jersey. In front now from AMF Wheel Goods. And we have in third position Danny Van Hout. Watch out for Danny Van Hout. This is definitely his kind of event.
Van Hout, a very experienced rider in this type of racing. He and Roger Young, of course, competed many times in Europe on this kind of board track. In the lead right now, though, is Dale Stettner, winner of the Redzinger Classic, a road race, a completely different type of racing than this indoor velodrome style.
Rather unusual to see road riders making this kind of transition, especially on such a small board track as this one. In fact, this is one of the smallest board tracks in the world. Look for somebody to start making a move around now, Dave. There's just a few laps to go.
And that's Greg LeMond, the 18-year-old junior world champion, moving around the top and taking a commanding lead. Greg rode very, very well last night on all the events. Dale Stettner following in second spot with Danny Van Hout in third. It looks like Stettner's going to try and challenge LeMond coming into the last couple of laps with Van Hout. And man, you can never discount in this kind of racing. Close in there also.
Looks like they're flat out.
Greg LeMond now with about a lap and a half to go. Dale Stettner still in his wheel. Danny Van Hout in third.
Van Hout goes down. He had a puncture in that very last lap, and there you see Greg LeMond winning that event.
Danny Van Hout is down. It looks like he hit his head. He did hit his head. In fact, we're going to see that in slow motion in just a minute. But Danny Van Hout, it's unusual for him to fall. He had a flat tire. You can see his wheel there. The tire rolled off the rim after it punctured. And we can see it now in slow motion.
Now those tires are made out of cotton, Dave, with a very light coating of rubber along the top. And when they're on the road, they are made out of silk.
When that happens, when a flat occurs, it's like riding on ice. You just lose all traction. That's what happened to Danny Van Hout. The tire went, lost control, and the bike just went down. Right now, we're into the one-lap record attempt. This is Bobby Allen from Los Angeles going out to try and crack that one-lap record of 7.77 seconds.
Held by Les Barcheski, and we'll see here in just a few seconds. Bobby Allen is absolutely at top speed here as he's trying to break that one flying lap record of 7.77 seconds. That is Bobby Allen there from California. Bobby Allen has 7.84 seconds.
And here's Les Barcheski, bronze medalist in the U.S. National Sprint Championships, one of the fastest riders in America today. Good shot for the Olympic Games next year. You're riding very low on the track. You'd have to stay low on the track in order to get the fastest possible time.
There it is, 7.84 seconds. Barcheski and Allen are tied going into Saturday night's action.
The strategy is
just go like hell. Just stay near the front and try and lap the field. It's not like roller derby or anything, although, it might, sometimes it might look like it, but it's definitely very safe in contact, and it's very serious too. It's not, it's no sham, and the speed is really fast, a lot faster than anything else indoors. You're on a track sometimes going 40 miles an hour. You hit the corner, and you hit about 2.5 Gs, and you don't have a whole lot of room to do stuff in. You have to make a split-second decision of which way to turn if an accident happens. And man, I tell you something, it's if you make the wrong decision, you're up in the grandstands. That's not kidding. I saw a couple Italian guys once in Belgium go flying off the track and land on the Queen's table, Queen of Belgium. They were drinking champagne. This Italian guy went sliding across their table, man. You didn't order the spaghetti.
Mike Aisner back in the Denver Coliseum for the International Indoor Cycling Classic. We're taking a look at last night's action. Some highlights from the opening night here in the Denver Coliseum. We're taking a look now at Greg LeMond, the world champion, and Ian Jackson from Australia. And for that call, here's Dave Chauner.
Attention. 8 laps to go. Greg LeMond starting in the home stretch. Ian the General Jackson starting in the back stretch. LeMond, one of the finest riders in the world, winner of 3 World Championship medals. That's a record in World Championship competition. He won a silver medal in the World Individual Pursuit Championships for juniors. That's the event that he's riding right now. And look at him going after Ian Jackson, a rider who's almost 10 years older than he is. 5 laps to go, 5 to go. Greg LeMond riding very, very fast. It looks like he's trying to catch the General. 4 laps to go. He's going to be able to do it. Look at Greg LeMond go. Greg LeMond riding very, very fast. Against Ian the General Jackson. 3 laps to go. And it looks like LeMond is going to try and catch Jackson before the end of this race. 2 to go. 2 laps to go. Can he do it? Greg LeMond rocketing through at a tremendous pace. Jackson and LeMond pulling up even 1 lap to go. Greg LeMond, half a lap to go. Greg LeMond over Ian Jackson. How about a big hand for both of those riders? And I'm sure that's going to be the fastest time of the night. We'll hear the official time in just a moment.
The first time for Greg LeMond ever on these boards, and he has been proving his dominance since this night began. We're looking at last night's action and back to the final sprint now.
Mike, this was really an exciting sprint. That's Greg LeMond again, who's been riding so well out in the front, pulling very, very fast with about 2 laps to go, and it's Roger Young, who's also riding very well here in this Madison Championship in 2nd spot.
Of course, Roger Young, the most experienced of almost anybody out there except maybe Danny Van Hout. And there comes Les Barczewski over the top.
LeMond tiring a little bit. He's been up at the front, and Barczewski had tremendous speed. He was showing all kinds of speed last night, and look at the way he opened up a gap on the rest of that field.
And that gap is the kind of thing that could be held if he can hold out his speed there. Back in the bunch, here comes Roger Young, it looks like, chasing, trying to make sure that Barczewski doesn't get too far away.
Definitely Barczewski had this one sewn up. No problem winning this sprint for Les Barczewski.
There he is, didn't she? Les Barczewski, a tremendous rider from West Allis, Wisconsin.
He's a bronze medalist in the National Sprint Championships, a bright hope for the Olympics next year in Moscow. A really strong and fast competitor. We've got the Madison racing highlights from last night coming up, Mike. A very exciting style of racing. In fact, it's the actual cornerstone of indoor cycling, the Madison. It's a 2-man team event. There's Roger Young, one of the top riders, of course, and he proved last night with Danny Van Hout that this is really their style of racing. The mechanics getting the bikes ready.
Absolute timing involved in this Madison event, Dave. This is where they hand sling their partner. They throw their partner, who has a piece of wood in the jersey, in the back of the jersey, and they grab onto that and throw their partner into the turns. One of them is active during the race, and the other one is at some point resting up top.
We can see the start here. Now, the riders that are down at the bottom of the track are the one half of the team, one of the riders on each team. And they will start the race like that and actually be racing down at the bottom. Their partners, as you can see, are holding on to the railing. When the race is officially started, the riders down at the bottom will pick up the speed, and when they come around to their partner, relay them into the race.
Tremendously fast event, this Madison event, created here in the United States, as we mentioned earlier, and has become tremendously successful over in Europe.
You can see the riders now moving into the field, picking up their partners. We have the second sprint of last night's at Madison coming up very shortly.
The evening, of course, is made up of a series of different sprints. They'll roll around this track for a while, and then every so often, every 10-15 minutes, there will be a designated sprint time. There will be 10 laps or 12 laps. They give them in advance, letting them know. Crashes happen absolutely so fast that sometimes spectators don't even have a chance to see them.
That was Dale Stettner that went down. Here we see them in action now, coming up to that second sprint. Joel Stettner throwing his brother Dale in. They're winding up the pace now. That's Danny Van Hout in second spot. Third is one of the Mind Gas brothers.
Constantly seeing Danny Van Hout and Roger Young not letting anybody get off the front. Not a chance.
This is the way all of these teams rode on that first night, Mike. The Stettners very much out in front, like you can see. Dale there now keeping the pace very high, and Roger Young and Danny Van Hout using their experience to make sure that no one gained too much of an advantage over them at any time. There's Roger now moving up on Dale Stettner. They've got a couple of laps to go. There's the 1 lap to go now, I think. And again, another rider has fallen. That's Wolf Mindgast. He's had some real troubles in the last couple of seasons here in the United States.
Wolf had some problems, and his brother, of course, is his partner. His brother had to find someone else to ride with last year, and they've had some problems, as you mentioned. He has hurt his wrist here and his knee.
The abrasion on that knee, that's a very painful thing. And, of course, Mindgast will be treated by the medical officer. He was back in action and is again riding tonight.
There's a medical officer at the event who will take a look at these guys, make sure that they're fit. They got to be working on the bike constantly. Of course, he had a flat. These blowouts are very common. You have to get the bicycles back into shape, and there's a whole technical crew that works the infield area that makes sure that those riders have top-notch equipment.
We had a glimpse of the mechanics. There were 7 laps to go now for the next sprint in this Madison. The object of the Madison is to gain laps on the rest of the field. The point sprints are put in there to keep the event competitive and to allow the teams to compile points as well as distance. That's Danny Van Hout now in the lead in this one, coming up to the final sprint in this Madison.
Tremendous style there. Danny Van Hout, the human locomotive, moving off the front, at command, able to do what he wants on that bike with no brakes and direct drive. There's no coasting on these bikes.
And that's Greg LeMond again, wearing number 1. LeMond has shown tremendous amount of talent. This is actually the first time he's ever raced on an indoor board track, and last night we're seeing Greg last night riding very, very well. He's getting his legs, and we expect a great show from him tonight.
Normally you would see a guy like Roger Young out in front there in the white jersey just sail off the front and leave these Americans behind, but tonight he absolutely could not leave Greg LeMond and Les Barczewski behind. There he is winning the final Madison event. Coming in second is Greg LeMond, always on his tail, and Les Barczewski from AMF Wheel Goods.
Young and Van Hout definitely dominated the Madison racing last night. No team, though, it's interesting to note, Mike, gained a lap on any other team, so they're all going in on equal distance in tonight's competition, although Young and Van Hout do have the point advantage right now.
So there's the scoreboard, 29 points for Ultima National and Young Van Hout. That's the way things stack up. Roger Young and Danny Van Hout, the national champions, have a slim lead going in today's action over AMF Wheel Goods team of Barczewski Schuler and Dale and Joel Stettner. Greg LeMond, his first day of racing on these boards at just 18 years old with his partner Mike Mole, is sitting in 4th place. Let's meet the riders.
Teams are being introduced in reverse order of their standing from last night's competition. In 7th and last place overall is the team of John Lee and David Steed.
This team has had a rough time together, Dave. They've been seriously mismatched. As you can see, John Lee, a very tall guy, over 6 feet tall. Dave Steed, a short guy. Dave Steed's kind of an interesting character. I understand that he holds the Guinness Book of World Records at 9 hours and 5 minutes for balancing his bicycle in one place.
He's quite a showman, and his partner Lee is the only rider from Colorado who's racing in this particular event.
Right, we're looking for them to get together a little bit better tonight.
This is the Meingast brothers. These fellows are originally from Austria. In fact, they've only been in the United States for about a season and a half now, out of Detroit. They got started bike racing in their home country of Austria, and they've done very, very well over here in the United States, although recently they've had a little bit of bad luck.
Christoph Meingast there on the right, as you can see, has a bandaged up wrist. The medics have been working on him all day after that untimely crash yesterday in the boards.
In 5th place overall is an interesting combination. The Australia-USA team. Ian Jackson on the left side is from Melbourne, Australia. He's 26 years old and an outstanding all-round competitor. Bobby Allen on the right, a spectacular young rider, always attacking the one-lap record. Very well suited to this style of racing.
Bob Allen at 7.84 seconds on the lap record yesterday is trying to take it away from Les Barczewski. We'll see him try to do that a little bit later on tonight. There he is, the weasel on the inside, Bob Allen.
This is a real team to watch for. Team number 1, Greg LeMond and Mike Mole. Now, Greg LeMond is the first American ever to win a world championship. He won the Junior World Championship road race recently down in Argentina. He also won a silver and a bronze medal in that competition. He's slated to be one of our best riders in the United States, looking for a medal performance in the Olympics.
That's right, going for the Olympics. 18 years old this guy is. Greg LeMond there on the right. He is partnered up with Mike Mole on the left, who back in 1976 won the national championships on this track with Roger Young. It's quite a strong team, and as you can see, they're sitting in 4th place.
Definitely within striking distance. Also within striking distance and doing very well, remarkably well, is the Team Stetnas, the Stetna brothers. That's Dale Stetna, slightly on the left, and his brother Joel. Dale, of course, the winner of the Redzinger Classic this year, a member of the United States Olympic team and a national road champion. Not really at home in this style of racing, not as comfortably as he is in road racing, but he's nevertheless outstanding.
He's been quite aggressive in this event, and another surprising member of the Stetna family, Joel on the right. He's just 18 years old. His brother Wayne Stetna, of course, national champion. It's from a very famous cycling family, the Stetna brothers.
This is the AMF team, lying in 2nd spot overall. On the left is Les Barczewski, and on the right, Tom Schuler. Les Barczewski's from West Allis, Wisconsin. He's the bronze medalist in the U.S. National Sprint Championships, one of the fastest riders in the United States.
A nice guy of competitive cycling, Tom Schuler, on the other side. Basically a road rider, as we're finding some of these riders making the transition to the board tracks, but he's there with one of the best, Les Barczewski, who currently holds the lap record on this track at 7.77 seconds, and he's going to try to better that tonight.
It's a very good combination, a strong road-type endurance rider and a sprint rider.
And they are sitting in 2nd place in the AMF Wheel Goods team. And now the champions.
These are the top indoor Madison riders in the United States. Roger Young on the left and Danny Van Hout on the right. Fellows have probably more experience than any other Americans together or as individuals. They go to Europe every season, spend the winters racing on the tight indoor tracks of Belgium and Holland, and Roger Young, I understand, has a bigger fan club over there than he's ever had in the United States.
I think they have developed the word team, really. They really feel like a team. They act like a team. They always do things together. Extremely aggressive. And the guy on the right, Danny Van Hout, for my money, is probably one of the strongest and fastest cyclists I have ever seen, and one of the most exciting. Roger Young, of course, coming from a family which produced Sheila Young, who took a world championship in speed skating as well as in competitive cycling. So it's been in their family. And this team here has really dominated this sport on these tracks for a long time. 3 times national champion. Greg LeMond, the big surprise really of this event so far. He has been tremendously aggressive. There he is, 18 years old, wearing his world championship jersey. We're going to look for him tonight.
This is Dave Chauner with Mike Aisner. We're back with the first event of the final night of competition at the Denver International Indoor Cycling Classic. It's a special match sprint event between Mike Mole and Chris Meingast.
Certainly looking forward to this one. I love match sprint races. This is where riders sometimes pull to an absolute halt, balance their bikes on the track, kind of stare each other down. There's Mike Mole looking around, checking out Chris Meingast. Both these guys very keen at this balancing act. Now, why do they, maybe you could shed some light on exactly why they do that, Dave.
Well, Mike, it is a very highly tactical event. Both riders, should they want to take the position of advantage, which is considered the rear position in the match sprint event, both riders, if both riders want that position, they will stall. The lead rider will stall and try to force the other one into the lead. Mike Mole is doing that right now, hoping that Meingast will take over the lead.
Staring each other down. awful lot of tactics involved in this event. And then it's just a dead, flat-out sprint between these two riders. Down on the apron, there's Mike Mull pulling out just a bit. This balancing on this 20% grade must be a tremendous trick.
It is. It takes a lot of practice. Not only that, it's more of an effort than it looks. The riders have their legs in constant tension trying to hold that bike motionless. Mindgas now stalling at the front, hoping to force Mull into the lead.
Remember, these bikes have no ability to coast on them, so that they are in total command of moving backwards or forwards on the bikes. It looks like Chris Mindgas is going to make his move here, Dave.
Mull coming up high. Mindgas was up high. He tried to shut him down, but he didn't close down fast enough, and Mull got through on the inside. A very good move by Mike Mull. He's now flat out to the finish line with Mindgas close behind him. It's 2 laps to go. Mull riding very, very fast. Mindgas getting in that slipstream and hoping he can come around. It's difficult to come around on this track, and it looks like Mike Mull has got it. Very, very good effort by Mike Mull, sneaking from the inside, and he has won that special match sprint. Tremendous ride by Mike Mull.
Next up is David Steed. David Steed had some problems last night. He didn't, but the timing clock did. That was clocking his flying lap record, so he's going to make another shot at it here tonight.
You mean you stood still on a bicycle for 9 hours and 15 minutes?
That's right, just like that.
David Steed coming off the track. Whoa, what's this? No, that's not the way you're supposed to do it, Dave. On the bike. This guy's crazy. David Steed is trying to set the 1-lap record with one arm. I hope we've got a time on him. Look at that man, he's crazy. How about a big hand for David Steed, the Rocky Mountain Flyers. All right, let's get serious down there, guys.
Things are getting serious in the Denver Coliseum, because next is that great grudge match between Barczewski and Allen yesterday, tying at 7.84 seconds for that flying lap record. It's previously set by Les Barczewski back in Detroit at 7.77 seconds, and Bobby Allen has his eye on that record, and he's going to go for it right now.
Now, last night we had an interesting competition. One of the few times this has ever happened, but Bobby Allen and Les Barczewski, who you're going to be seeing in just a few minutes, tied for the fastest lap ridden last night, 7.84 seconds. Both of them recorded the exact same time. The record for the 1-lap flying time trial is held by Les Barczewski, 7.77 seconds. Both riders are going to be out to try and break that this evening. We'll have the time for you as soon as the riders finish. The time is taken only with 1 lap to go. The riders will get the bell with 2 to go. They should be going full speed when they hit that line with 1 lap to go. 3 laps to go, and Bobby Allen is really anxious this evening. He's winding it up around the top of the track. He's going to use those bankings to gain as much acceleration as he can as he comes into that final lap. 2 laps to go, 2 to go, 2 laps to go. The next time around is going to be for time. Can he go under 7.77 seconds? Let's give him a big send-off. Bobby Allen, 1 lap to go. Look at that man fly around that track. 7.77 seconds is the magic time. Bobby Allen. And that looked very fast indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, a new track record, 7.76 seconds for Bobby Allen.
Les, you look mad.
I'm not mad, I'm ready to do it.
Les, you set this record a couple of years ago, 7.77 seconds. You've tried. You have not been able to get below that. Bobby Allen now holds this lap record. You're going to go for it.
Well, all I can say is Bobby did a fantastic ride. I've never seen anyone go that fast, and I just pray I can at least come close.
Go for it. Les Barczewski.
Les Barczewski, one of the fastest riders in the United States. He was a member of the 1979 Pan American Games team, a bronze medalist in the U.S. National Championships this year. He placed 4th and 5th in the Junior World Championships a few years back.
definitely the best performances ever by an American in international competition. He looks like he's really ready for this one, Mike.
That was a couple of years ago in Detroit when he set that record at 7.77 seconds. He has tried before to break this record on this track and has been unsuccessful in that attempt. A lot of folks here in Denver have been waiting for him to do this. Last night he wrapped out at 7.84 seconds, and I think Barczewski really has been concentrating on this more than almost anything he's ever done before. Very competitive spirit, and he's definitely going to go for it this lap as he drops down through the transition now, gaining up his speed. His teeth still gritted. He is very nervous.
Looks like he's going to try to hit this one full speed when he gets that last lap. Remember, the only time that is taken for the last lap. He's really winding up high. He'll be hitting the line with 1 lap to go. And he's off on that record attempt, down at the bottom, staying as low as he possibly can. That's the shortest distance around that track. He's really hurtling out of that last turn. Barczewski with a good-looking time.
There it is. 7.84 seconds was the time on that. 7.84 seconds.
Not a record, that's for sure.
Les Barczewski visibly disappointed at the outcome. He did not beat Allen's time, the new record of 7.76 seconds. However, we understand, Dave, that the officials are taking a close look at that Bobby Allen flying lap. The officials were conferring about a possible infraction when he started his timed lap. A strip of tape is placed along the start-finish line, and that is connected to our Omega timing equipment sprint timing clock. Let's look at it carefully here as Bobby Allen hits the line at 35+ miles per hour. There it is. It seems like Bobby Allen has lifted his front wheel off the boards, officially starting his lap time with his rear wheel instead of his front wheel. Now, the wheelbase on these track bikes, Dave, is about 38 inches, and that could make a considerable difference in the lap time. Now, according to our calculations, that would put Allen at 7.82 seconds, which would not break Barczewski's track record of 7.77 seconds. This is what it looked like at full speed. It's hard to believe that Allen could calculate a wheel lift like that, winding up for that lap. Here again, slow motion. There's no question Allen attempted to start the clock with his rear wheel.
Mike, I just got word from referees Fred Cappy, Mike Walden, and Artie Greenberg that they've officially disqualified Bobby Allen's lap time of 7.76, ruling that he illegally started the Omega clock with his rear wheel.
Dave, it seems here that we have a rather unusual incident that has just taken place in the Denver Coliseum. The referees made it clear now that the admission of videotape in any judgmental call would not be acceptable, such as a sprint finish or a rider infraction on the track. But where an issue of precise timing is a factor, as in this flying lap, any acceptable backup timing method or any information that could produce a claim against the legality of a record attempt might be admissible, and that would also include videotape. I think the officials are being very guarded here so as not to set any really firm precedent about the use of videotape in officiating. Professional sports have continually rebuffed the use of instant replays, and I suspect that we are looking at a rather unusual acceptance of videotape in determining a ruling. This is a problem that sports in general has been playing around with for the past few years.
2 laps to go, 2 to go, 3 to qualify, 2 laps to go. It's still Stettner in the lead, followed by Young. Stettner, Young, Mindgast, and Mole, shoulder to shoulder in 4th spot. Joel Stettner, Roger Young, 1 lap to go, 1 lap to go. Young making his move on the outside. Roger Young making a move on the outside of Joel Stettner. Very close at the finish between Roger Young and Joel Stettner.
It's official, Roger Young in a close win over Joel Stettner.
Final Madison race is next, and things are extremely tight at the top. Greg LeMond, Mike Mole, just a few sprints away from dethroning the champions Roger Young and Danny Van Hout. The Stettner brothers are clearly a threat, as are Barczewski Schuler.
Dave Chauner's now down with Greg LeMond.
Greg, this is a different type of racing for you. You're used to riding on the road and whatnot. How does it feel? How did you get interested in the indoor style of racing?
Well, I'm looking forward to turning professional in 1981, and this type of racing is really popular with professional cycling, 6-day racing, and I really came here to learn how to ride the event, and I'm really interested in learning how to do the Madison event, learning how to exchange and that in order to turn myself as a professional. I really like the event. It's probably the most exciting that I've ever ridden.
Was it hard getting used to the steep banking and the high speeds and the closeness of the riders?
Yeah, it was at first. I'm still kind of scared, kind of shaky, but I'm pretty comfortable now. Before, I think the first night when we did a warm-up Madison, I was really scared compared to last night. I think maybe tonight I'll be doing a little bit better.
Is there a real thrill to it? Do you feel a thrill out there racing around the boards with all the crowds in the stands and all that?
Yeah, definitely. Especially going 35 in a full-out sprint, 35 miles per hour. There's so much force into the banking, and trying to maintain it when you're really close to other riders, it's really something else. It's really exciting.
Can the old sages of American indoor track racing, Danny Van Hout and Roger Young, stave off the young and aggressive Greg LeMond and Mike Mole? That's the question in everybody's mind here at the Denver Coliseum for the International Indoor Cycling Classic. Our final race in 2 days of cycling is about to get underway. For the roll-off and call, here's Dave Chauner.
How about a big send-off, ladies and gentlemen, for the final Madison of the International Indoor Cycling Classic. As soon as Chief Referee judges that they're safe to go, he'll put up the green flag and the gun will go off. 40 minutes of chasing. And they're off. 40 minutes to go for the final Madison in the Indoor International Cycling Classic here in the Denver Coliseum. Les Barczewski struggling a little bit as he comes to pick up his partner Tom Chauner. It looks like Dale Stettner. One rider's got a flat tire. Somebody's got a flat tire. It's Greg LeMond. Greg LeMond has got a flat. Tremendous control. How about a big hand for Greg LeMond? That rear wheel just buckled on him. LeMond is out of the race temporarily. His partner will go in and out with team number 2, Roger Young and Danny Van Hout, and that puts the pressure on. Roger Young now throwing his partner Danny Van Hout in, and Mike Mole dropping in until Greg LeMond gets his rear wheel fixed. Mole will have to ride by himself, and Mike Aisner is holding up Greg LeMond's rear wheel down in the infield. Look at the way that rear wheel buckled after he got a flat tire. There's tremendous centrifugal force on these riders in the turns. It's a 50-degree banking, and when you get a flat tire like that and slam into those bankings, it can twist a wheel into a pretzel. Very, very lightweight wheels. You can see what that crash did to Greg LeMond's wheel, but he's all right. They're changing his rear wheel now. He'll be back in the action very shortly. Look at the way these riders weave in and out of traffic. It takes a tremendous amount of skill and experience to do that. Very, very good bike handling skills being displayed out here. Followed by Roger Young. Dale Stettner now coming up fast in third. There goes Dale Stettner. Dale Stettner trying to make a move over the top. 4 laps to go, 4 to go. Mike Mole trying to hold him off. Followed by Roger Young. It looks like they're going to do it. Mike Mole throwing in partner Greg LeMond. 3 laps to go, 3 to go, and Greg LeMond is going to go for it. Greg LeMond with Danny Van Hout trying to stay on his wheel. 2 laps to go, 2 to go. 2 laps to go, 2 to go, 2 to go. Greg LeMond and Danny Van Hout. 1 lap to go, 1 to go. And Danny Van Hout trying to get by on the outside. Greg LeMond trying to hold him back. Danny Van Hout and Greg LeMond very close at the finish. Very, very close between LeMond and Van Hout. We'll have the results for you in just a moment. How about a big hand for those two teams? What a battle tonight. It is official. The team winning that last sprint, team number 1, Greg LeMond and Mike Mole. 3 laps to go, 3 to go, 3 laps to go, 3 to go. And it looks like Roger Young now is going to try to take this spin. Roger Young going over Greg LeMond. Pulling in partner, getting it out with 2 laps to go. Greg LeMond now trying to regain the lead. A tremendous battle of points going on. Ladies and gentlemen, Van Hout with Greg LeMond trying hard to stay on his wheel. Danny Van Hout riding very, very strongly. And Danny Van Hout picking up that sprint, followed by Greg LeMond and the Stettner brothers, 1, 2, and 3. And there goes Tom Chauner over the top. Team number 4, Tom Chauner over the top with Roger Young on his wheel. What a battle going on there. Now 2 laps to go, 2 to go. 2 laps to go. It looks like Tom Chauner and Les Barczewski are going for this one. Followed by Danny Van Hout and Mike Mole. 1 lap to go, 1 to go, 1 lap to go, $100. 50, 30, and 20. And it's Danny Van Hout, followed by Mike Mole. It looks like experience is paying off. Danny Van Hout, Mike Mole, and Tom Chauner, 1, 2, 3 in that one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's cheer these riders on for the last 6 laps of the bike race.
The bike race is going to be decided in the next 6 laps. So far, going into the final sprint, it's Young and Van Houten in the lead. Team number 2 with team number 1 in second spot. I don't know exactly what the point spread is between those two teams, but it's still very, very close. Double points from the last sprint. Here goes Danny Van Houten in the back stretch. Danny Van Houten split out, followed by Greg LeMond. Van Houten throwing in Young, and there goes Greg LeMond. LeMond over the top, a tremendous attack on Roger Young. There's 2 teams in the bike race, 2 laps to go. Roger Young counter-attacking Greg LeMond. And it's Roger Young with 1 lap to go. Roger Young followed by Greg LeMond. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Young and Van Houten, team number 2. Here they are, Roger Young and Van Houten, winners of the bike race. How about that last lap sprint? They did it. Experience paid off. Roger Young, Danny Van Houten, winners of the International Indoor Cycling Classic. How about a big hand for them, ladies and gentlemen? Team number 2, Roger Young and Danny Van Houten. In second place, we can't forget the courageous riding of team number 1, Greg LeMond and Mike Moll. Second place overall.
In third place overall, team number 3, Joel and Dale Stetina, the Indy USA team. How about a big hand for team number 3, the brothers Stetina. In second place overall, perhaps the most courageous team in the entire Indoor International Cycling Classic. Team number 1, Greg LeMond and Mike Moll. Greg LeMond and Mike Moll. Team number 1, second place overall. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the first indoor Madison that Greg LeMond has ever ridden. A tremendous first effort by Greg LeMond and partner Mike Moll. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the winning team of the bike race, the most experienced 4-track riders in America. Team number 2, Roger Young and Danny Van Houten.
The International Indoor Cycling Classic was a co-promotion of Madison Velodrome Productions and Wormwood Project Sports. I'm Phil Liggett. This broadcast originally aired on ESPN in November 1979.